Hello, everyone. I wanted to reflect a little bit on some of the experiences I've had and insights I think I've gained in my hunting for insects with a camera, which began in 2016. And I really didn't get good, I would say, until after the pandemic, when I fully understood what I was doing as a practice and had gained enough experience with the camera to be able to start to produce the kind of shots that I was happy with. And one of the big insights I've gained from all of this, that is going out every single day, that it was a fruitful day, weather-wise, to shoot insects every single day for since 2020, really. So 5 years of that practice has given me a new understanding of space and the relationship of different levels of life, I guess, in terms of, we can dispense with the hierarchies, but different orders of life, shall we say. And the thing with shooting insects in the urban context, sorry about this, folks, obviously I'm being eaten alive, I might start walking here, is that you're looking for certain kinds of spaces, which are usually liminal spaces. And there are two things I've found that you need in order to find insects, at least the kind of insects I'm after, which are usually flying, pollinating insects. You need a source of food, so flowers, and you need shelter. And actually you need three things. You need access as a human to those spaces, which is really tough because you're big and cumbersome and lumbering, and mostly they are skittish and will fly away. So what you want is a liminal space. In the countryside, this sort of thing is paradise. A laneway, a path of some sort that's cleared, but that has these these borders rather, which gives you access to teeming hordes of insects. If there are, in this case, wildflowers flowering plants that give them pollen to feed on. So shelter, the combination of food with shelter right behind it, an extent of dense foliage and whatnot. It's tough to find that in parks, actually. Urban parks are monocultures. There's usually the wrong kinds of things planted. Things even that have been developed as strains of ornamental flowers, whose original strain attracted pollinating insects, but has been monkeyed with to produce different, colored flowers and so on that actually have no appeal to pollinating insects. So in the city, I look for back alleys, gardens. Of course, I never trespass. I never go on anyone's private property. I try to be as respectful as I can with the camera, respect people's privacy. But where the insects are to be found in the city are in back alleys, laneways, the edges of construction sites, abandoned lots where weeds have been allowed to grow. And weeds are really the ultimate. What we think of as weeds, which is of course a normative term, simply plants that really don't care about how we define them, like any other, that we think is not useful to us. But in fact, in the world of pollinating insects, in the urban environment, it is weeds, which are often, but not always, native plants that are allowed to grow wild, that blossom and attract hordes of native insects. So weeds are good. So I look for weeds, and above all, I look for certain kinds of spaces, liminal spaces. Light is hugely important because, and I only had this insight the other day. I was watching a video of some crazy guy who was night diving in a beaver pond, and he observed that the fish he was seeing were cold-blooded, so they move more slowly when it's cold. And it hit me, oh, of course, what I gained from my experience, my empirical experience, was that sunny days are good, overcast days like today suck. shade sucks. So what you really want, the perfect day for insect photography, is to be in the right season, the right spot, with direct sunlight and no wind. So a day like today is terrible. These rows, these edges, whatever, natural edgings of wildflowers should be teeming with flying pollinating insects, butterflies, bees, and wasps, primarily moths. But they aren't, and that's because they aren't in the sunlight, and it's a cooler day, so they literally don't have the energy to fly. And so what you will find on a day like today are the dipterans, that is the flies, and the mosquitoes, but also slow-moving, crawling things, the beetles and plant bugs and so forth, ants and that kind of thing. So not a good day. So, but as I sort of reflected on this, I'm usually slow on the uptake, as my friends know, is that pollinators are, of course, also cold-blooded, and their energy level is directly linked to warmth and sunlight, warmth provided by sunlight, and that in this beautiful way, they're these sort of expressions of their environment, and the pace that they live at is determined directly by environmental conditions and how different that is. So there's something pure about them in that way that I find so beautiful. There's an honesty at the physical level that in which the animal is expressing its relationship to its environment. Humans, warm-blooded, at least most of us, of course, are different. We don't express our relationship to our environment at least in the same direct way. It's more indirect. And that relates, I think, to Homo sapiens and other hominids, I'm sure, almost certainly Neanderthals, who developed clothing as a kind of supplement to the body and something that allowed further control of this relationship between the body and its environment. And then, of course, the built structure, architecture, and these shelters and these sorts of things did that in a more formalized and controllable and larger way. So we are inherently, as human beings, with culture and language and literature and fashion and a conception of beauty and meaning, in this condition of being sort of detached from our environment, at the base because we're warm-blooded, but also because we've developed an entire civilizational structure which is based on the problem of is about finding a solution to the problem of living in a hostile environment, basically. So in any case, sorry, this is really wide-ranging and rambly, but the spatial, so what insects have taught me to see space differently, and also to think about our humans' relationship to the world differently. Thanks for watching, everyone.